We will collect our zooplankton with a plankton net trawled vertically through the water column. This fabric is a mesh with a uniform spacing of 153 microns. How many microns are in a millimeter? There are 1,000 microns in a millimeter. So our net has openings that are 0.153 millimeters wide. How wide is that? It's so small that only 2 of your hairs would pass through it, and not 3. The net will be tied onto the line that is marked every 5 feet, and we will try to get as close to the bottom as we can without actually hitting the bottom. That's what the benthos group will be sampling. Our net will filter 16 gallons of water for every linear foot it is pulled through. For example, a 50-foot deep sample will result in 800 gallons of water being filtered and concentrated in the cod end. Our goal is to sample 10 feet off the bottom. Have students find the station depth on the pilot house window. Before sampling over the side, wait for the OK from the lead and make sure the line is tied onto the equipment and to the boat. Assign every student a job: lowering and counting, hauling, spraying, opening the cod end, and holding the cup. Use the front side of your quick guide to help you through this process. The plankton sample is relatively easy to collect compared to the other stations. You will have time to work in an opening discussion about what plankton are and why they are important during this sampling portion. All right, let's talk about the plankton net that you're going to use to collect your plankton sample. It's a fairly low-tech piece of equipment. It consists of just a few parts. You've got a bridle, which is cables attached to a ring, which holds open your fabric, which is all connected down at a cod end down here. That's where the water will drain off, and then your sample will be concentrated down here. It is going to feel slightly weighted. There's a big weight on the end of this, and that's because we want this to go straight down. We want it to have some weight to it. This is going to act like fabric once it's in the water, and so it can tend to drift a lot, and we don't want it ending up in the propeller or near the stern of the boat in any way. So when you're ready to sample, make sure you're at least at midships or a little bit forward, and also wait until you hear the OK from the lead to put stuff over the side. And when you are ready to sample, you're going to make sure that this is tied on to the plankton line. The plankton line is a little bit bigger than the Van Dorn line. This is about 1/4 inch. And you'll notice that both ends are whipped with colors. So there's a blue end and a black end. The blue end is going to go to the boat. I'm going to tie that onto the boat, and the black end is going to what's actually be tied on to the equipment. So black to the equipment, blue to boat. And in both cases, you're going to want to tie a bowline knot, which you have been practicing. And if you need a refresher on the bowline knot, I suggest going to animatedknots.com. One last note is about the cod end itself. It does screw off fairly easily, and it's this yellow and gray part are together, and it's screwing off from the black part separately. It screws right off, should be pretty easy on and off. You'll notice that there's a screened section and an unscreened section. If I can show you in there. The screened section also only is actually cut out right here in the middle of the cod end container. And so once you've rinsed the net and everything is down here, you're going to want to continue letting water drain out through the net by tipping it sideways like this. Let water drain out of it. I drain the water all the way down until it's just in that bottom section in the cod end. If I were to leave this mostly full and then pour it off into the cup where my sample goes, I might overflow the cup and end up with sample spilled out onto the deck. So I like to drain it off by tipping it sideways like this. It'll go through the screen, the water will, and concentrate the sample down to about here. That way all my plankton are concentrated in, and it makes it way easy to catch them and look at them under the microscope.